Morning, everyone. Now we'll call the meeting to order. And we do have a quorum. All three commissioners are present. And at this time, Colonel Averill, would you like to lead us in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
I move that we approve the minutes of March 6, 2017.
Second.
Okay, a motion has been made to approve the March 6, 2017 minutes. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Public comment. Do we have anyone signed up? No. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the notice agenda with one item, resolution number 17-071.
Second?
Mr. Martin.
Good morning, Eric
Good morning.
Martin, Public Works Director and County Engineer. Speaking to notice agenda item number 1, resolution 17-071, call for bids for the County Safety Program Phase 2, 2014 road safety improvements. And bids are due to the clerk of the board by 11 a.m. Tuesday, April 4th. Just a point of clarification, this is still labeled Phase 2 2014 because that's when this funding project started. And so for ease of funding purposes, we've retained that name. So it's not a 2014 project, it's a 2017 project, but that's just the name of it. So just a point of clarification there. So this is a safety project that we will be installing guardrail, building guardrail landings by placing crush surfacing base course, flattening slopes, a bridge rail retrofit, traffic controls at various locations around the county. So if you go to the vicinity map here, thank you, Riva, you can see that we've got projects here on Coal Creek Road between Kresge and Centralia Alpha. We've got projects on Shorey Road, and then we have an intersection project to increase visibility of the stop sign on Bishop Road at Rush. And so we'll be going out for bids, and as I mentioned before, bids are due Tuesday, April 4th by 11 a.m. Any questions?
Thank you. Okay, a motion has been made and second to approve resolution number 17-071. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
I move that we approve the consent agenda, items 2 through 6, resolution number 17-072 through 076.
Second.
Good morning, Commissioners. Suzette Smith, Chief Accountant in the Auditor's Office. I am here to present to you agenda items number 2 and 3. Agenda item number 2 is resolution number 17-072, and this is the weekly approval of warrants against the county departments. We issued 219 regular warrants last week, 765,509 through 765,727, for a total dollar amount $829,547.16. We note skip in sequence those warrants numbered 765,462 through 765,508, which were issued on behalf of our special purpose districts. Their commissions approve those warrants. Agenda item number 3 is resolution number 17-073, and this is for your authorization to void 3 warrants, number 760420, 763448, and 761831. We have in our possession these 3 warrants. They were issued in error, or the payment was returned because it was no longer needed. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Archie.
Good morning, Commissioners. Archie Smith with Lewis County Human Resources. I'm here to discuss item number 4, resolution number 17-074. This is a resolution to approve an MOU between Lewis County and Teamsters Union representing the supervisors group for on-call stipend services for their radio services administrator. This has actually been an ongoing process for some time, and what happened in the radio services division, we only had one employee there for an extended period of time. Due to that inconvenience, and we cannot have the radio services go down for any length of time because of the 911 emergency services, we actually started a stipend on that. When we hired a second person into that, that person came into a different collective, they were moved into a different collective bargaining, but they also received that stipend in accordance with the CBA. Due to the fact that there are still only 2 people in radio services and it must have an immediate 24/7 response, we are maintaining this stipend for both employees, one under a CBA and the Teamsters combined. The one that we're doing here is through an MOU under the supervisors group. It has not changed any financial impact whatsoever over the last few years of what we're doing. We're really just memorializing this into a resolution and making sure that we're doing things properly within the county.
So I guess for clarification on that, and I want to go back to your opening comments there, we had one person, and remembering that our radios can never go down.
Yes.
Because of the 911 situation.
Correct.
I know that Steve brought it to us, and which I'll be honest with you, I was quite amazed that we had one person basically 24/7 on call. So this is
Right. What
alleviated, and again, I'm not talking about the MOU specifically, but this is, we've changed that to now we have 2 people.
Yeah, we had 2 people at one time, and the person that was there was Chris Huss, and Chris left for another employment,
Right.
and Scott was the only one for an extended period of time until we found his replacement. And so we stipend that, because it was a pretty big impact. But at one time, when I first got here 10 years ago, we actually had 3 people in radio services. We had 2 full-time people and a part-time person. That part-time person has been gone, I want to say, for probably 7 years since we did the budget cuts. And so that burden really fell on to the 2 employees, and that's where the stipend came from, because it's impactful. I mean, they must be ready to work immediately.
Right.
If they are called, and it's not like we can go down a phone chain and call 4 or 5 different people and get that person out here to go do something. We don't have that luxury under this situation here. There's 2 people, and they need to answer the call when it comes in.
Very much appreciated. Thank you.
Good morning again. Eric Martin, Public Works Director and County Engineer, speaking to consent agenda items number 5 and 6. Number 5 is Resolution 17-075, a resolution to approve a Title VI non-discrimination agreement with the Washington State Department of Transportation, WSDOT, and authorizing signatures thereon. So this is an agreement that we sign every year as the chair of this board rotates. And that's a requirement from WSDOT, through WSDOT from the federal government. So this resolution would approve the Title VI non-discrimination agreement with WSDOT, which is required by the Code of Federal Regulation 49 CFR Part 21 and 23 CFR 200 for all local agencies that receive federal funding. And this basically just assures that through our practices, especially with regards to right-of-way purchases and things that we do, that we do not discriminate in how we go about doing our business. So there's several things attached here. One is the agreement itself. And then we also have an annual update and accomplishment report that talks a little bit about those types of activities where we've run into folks that need accommodations in the past year. So for 2016, we did not need to provide any accommodations for anyone. But in the past, we've provided interpreters for folks that maybe English is not their first language, things like that, just to make sure that we're not discriminating against anyone and that all of our dealings are fair and sort of level the playing field for any folks that need help.
Eric and I had a conversation earlier because when I noticed on the policy statement, it did not include people with disabilities, but if you go further down in it, it talks about discrimination complaint procedure, and it does include people with disabilities and where they're given accommodations. So I guess it's just a formatting issue, but people with disabilities are recognized as one of the protected groups under the Civil Rights Act, so.
Yeah, I'm not an authority on the Civil Rights Act, but what I can tell you is that in our department, as far as policy goes, we certainly will give accommodations to anyone that needs it in any way, shape, or form to make sure that all of our dealings are fair. So, including disabled folks. So, absolutely. A lot of our right-of-way negotiation things we do are done in the home, so we don't need to provide too much, but if we ever did, certainly we would, so.
Like large print agreements for them to read? Yes.
Absolutely, whatever's needed, right, exactly. And so then that's why we have those forms, so that people can request things from us if they need them, so that we're not trying to guess what they need. They can let us know, and we can comply, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Item number 6 is Resolution 17-076, resolution to approve an interlocal cooperative purchasing agreement between Lewis County and the cities of Centralia and Chehalis. So this interlocal agreement will basically provide cooperative purchasing agreements for the two cities and the county. So, and that can go either way. So we could purchase off of their agreements, or they could purchase off of our agreements. The main reason why we set this up was thinking ahead to our chip seal season, and Centralia and Chehalis oftentimes will buy products off of our contracts that we use for those projects, and also will use tanks that we have to store oil for their projects in. So this allows us to do that. But it also is broad enough that, if other things come up, other things that they want to purchase off our agreements or we want to purchase off theirs, certainly is allowed underneath this agreement. Any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. A motion has been made and second to approve the consent agenda, which consists of 5 items, resolutions number 17-072 through numbers 17-076. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Thank you. Okay. Okay, with that, now we'll go ahead and start the hearing, and this is resolution number 17-064. Hearing for proposed modifications to the Vader Enchantment Water System fee and rate schedule. I will remind everyone that we're just reopening this, and I apologize, what was the date that we last had the last hearing?
I was going to look that up here.
It was
A week ago today.
I believe it was February 27th.
okay,
Thank you.
2/27/17. Thank you. Okay, first we will have a staff report followed by a question and answer period. We will then close the question and answer period and reopen the hearing for formal testimony, which is the reopen. And time will be allocated to receive public testimony of 3 minutes. And then if anyone would like to sign up, feel free to come up and at this point in time. So at this time, Eric, would you like to continue? And I know that in our last presentation, you had a very detailed, and we had an opportunity to go visit Vader citizens again, and you provided additional information, and I think we're talking about that additional information.
We are, and I have handouts there. Let me grab those and give you guys each a copy so you can see it, because it's kind of hard to see on the screen.
And folks in the audience can get copies of this, too. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what you see in front of you first, if you pull out the sheet that has the spreadsheet on it, at the top it says 6-year capital improvement program summary. What that does is describes how kind of the the money will flow for the proposed capital improvement project surcharge that we've added into the proposed rates. And basically what it shows is how much we will collect each year. So we'll just go column by column here across. So the first column on the left is the year. The second is the actual cost to that particular capital improvement project or projects for that year. The next one is the actual yearly projected revenue. So for each year, how much revenue we project based on the number of connections we have or will have. The next is the cumulative surcharge revenue. So as it adds throughout the year, how much have we collected over time? The next one is the CIP fund balance, assuming that we do the projects that we're listed on this sheet. And then the next one is the project number as it's listed in the water system plan, and the project description, and then a little note about funding. So basically what I've got here is a very detailed plan for the next 6 years on how this CIP surcharge would be spent. This is a dedicated revenue that would only be spent for capital improvement projects. So as you can see here, we've got, in 2017, we've got a couple projects. One is the turbidimeters, which measure the turbidity of the water, which need to be replaced. And then kind of a general project that replaces several fixtures and things around the plant that are in poor condition. So in 2018, then, we've got our SCADA system improvements, and I talked a little bit about SCADA when I was at Vader last Thursday. And basically that's, for lack of a better term, the brain for the plant. What it does is it allows us to be much more functional with how we deal with problems with the plant. In fact, for example, yesterday I just got an email from John that there was an alert at the plant. He had to go to the plant, deal with it, and then come back on a Sunday. So what SCADA will do at times is kind of troubleshoot that a little bit better, and not always require that operator to visit the plant every single time an alarm goes off or there's something that the plant says needs to be attended to. So it's a very nice system. It's modern. Most of the plants these days all have these SCADA systems, but it's not cheap. It's about $25,000. So that's planned for 2018. 2019 is our online analyzer, which basically gives water quality in real time. And then in 2020, we don't have any projects proposed. And those three are our highest needs right now at the plant. So then in 2021, we've got some piping within the plant itself that needs to be rehabilitated. And then in 2022, we have some pressure reducing valve stations which help to preserve the lines themselves. When you get too much pressure in those lines, they tend to, the joints tend to break down and things deteriorate faster than they should. So those pressure reducing stations would help with the life of the system. So that's basically what we have over the first 6 years of the life of that surcharge. And again, that surcharge is $2.50 a month, and we bill every other month. So on each water bill you get every 2 months, it would be a $5 surcharge. Did Reva leave? No. There she is. So I'll have her bring up the fee schedule now. That's the Word document there, Reva. Again, there's copies up there, and this just actually shows what fees would be changing under this proposal. So the first set of red numbers up there you see are the connection charges. And so as we started to evaluate what it costs to actually connect to the system, we found that we were not collecting enough money to cover our costs. So this is based on actual connections that we've done, and will cover just our costs and no more for those connection fees. So we're not trying to make money on this. We just want to cover our costs. And as you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can see that the residential base charge, which is the charge just for the pleasure of being connected to the system, is going from $43.50 to $44.81 under this proposal. A commercial base charge is going from $43.50 to $44.81. And the usage charge is going from $6.50 for every 1,000 gallons to $6.70 for every 1,000 gallons. And then, of course, as I just discussed, the capital improvement fund surcharge. So that's the proposal. I'm more than happy to go back through any of the information that we covered last time at the hearing. If anyone has any questions on that, or if you have any additional questions, I am certainly available.
One of the things too, and Eric, and he did a very good job, I appreciate it. There were, and part of the reason why we had to reopen this hearing was we did decide to go back and talk to the citizens of Vader, making sure that everyone had an opportunity to listen to the plan. So, and at that time, I think at our last meeting, there were two people there that had expressed their opinion, and so we had a chance to hear, and they did ask me. He said, "Well, we're planning, was the commission ready to move forward on this?" And I said, "Well, I can't speak for the other two commissioners, but I was ready to move forward with this." And explaining it, and like I say, Eric did a very good job, because this is an investment for the city of Vader. You know, at some point, we're hoping that this will be turned back over to them. We don't know, but all the monies also that is collected, taken in, will also be part of the Vader system. So, so the counties, because I think that was one of the questions, is the county going to keep this money when it's all said and done? And I think that was probably at the first meeting. So no, it will be passed on to the city of Vader. And the other thing that I learned, that surface water is much more expensive than well. And Eric did a really good job in explaining all that also. So with that, is there any other questions there? Okay. Now we'll open questions and answer period for the public to ask questions. Are there any public comments? Any questions? I'm sorry. Okay. At this point in time, want to go see? Okay. Did anyone sign up? Okay. Okay, that's what I was asking for. Okay. At this time, we're going to close the question and answer period then. And then would you like your opening comments to be incorporated, or comments to be incorporated into the hearing?
Yes, please. And I would like to add one more thing and just give a lot of credit to Betsy Dillon, who's our engineer that does a lot of work on Vader. She prepared most of this material, and so I want to make sure she gets credit for that.
Absolutely. She did a phenomenal job. Now we're going to open the hearing for public testimony. And are there any names? There are no names. Okay. Last chance. Okay. Now we're going to close the hearing for public testimony. And at this time, we'll move forward, I think.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve resolution number 17-064 for the proposed modifications to the Vader Enchanted Valley Water System fee and rate schedule.
Second?
Okay. A motion is made and second to approve the hearing number 17064 for the proposed modifications of the Vader Enchanted Water System fee. With no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passed. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Seeing no further items on our agenda, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
A motion is made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.
You are invited to immerse yourself in the beauty of nature in all four corners of Lewis County, Washington. From our fields to your table, farms in the west share their bounty. Limitless landscapes, forests and mountains beg to be explored in the east. Fish our many rivers and lakes in the south, and discover where history and culture intersect in our twin cities. Explore it all by visiting our Facebook page and plan your next getaway at discoverlewiscounty.com. Culture, history, and adventure all come alive when you discover Lewis County.